Hello, this is MechaJ101, and I am building an igloo. Right now I'm in the process of digging it out, and I'm actually using a slightly different method than I've ever used before, and I think it's working pretty good, actually. So, as you can see, there's a nice gap there between the snow and the ice on the outside. So basically what I did was I took a huge pile of snow on the driveway and piled it all up, and I didn't really pack it or anything like that. I kind of rounded it out a bit, and then I basically just started hosing down the outside with some water, and it's kind of got an icy shell on the outside, and as you can see, actually the snow slumped away from the ice a little bit, and that's why that gap is there, and you can see little icicles and stuff there. So yeah, it seems to be holding up pretty good though. So, and this is probably one, I think it's going to be my biggest igloo yet, maybe, but yeah, it's working pretty good. So let's just go outside and show you. But I've only got about halfway dug out, I think. So I've got a good bit to go still. Alright, here is the outside. It's kind of dark out, but that is what it looks like. Let me get the light here so I can show you guys. Whoop. Alright, that is the outside of my igloo. So it is pretty big. It's almost as tall as me. And I'm about 5 foot, so yeah. But it's nice solid ice. So I think it should work though. There are a couple cracks that keep forming. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, see there's a crack there. And it does that. It kind of makes cracking sounds. If you let it sit too long and then spray it, it cracks. So I don't know if that's bad or not. I also don't think I made it round enough. This side over here is quite flat, and I think that might be a possibility where it's going to cave in, but hopefully it won't. So fingers crossed. This side looks pretty good though. But yeah. So, but it's a lot easier this way. Why I'm doing it the ice way like this is because all the other ways that I've tried, or the basic way I've tried, is just pile up a giant pile of snow and then pack it on the outside and dig it out. But the problem with that is after a couple days, even if it doesn't get above freezing, it slowly slumps. The snow starts packing together, or probably some of it sublimates too, and it just kind of starts slumping and it caves in after 2 days or so. Depending on how thick you leave the walls. I usually like to leave the walls about 8 inches thick, and it still slumps. So I'm thinking this ice won't slump like that. At least that's my hope. So there you can see how thick the ice is. It's about 1.5 inches there, but most of it's snow because the snow kind of froze. And I was also hoping that I was thinking, because I was spraying so much water on here, but I was kind of thinking that it might, the whole thing would be a giant ice block, but it's just the outer shell that's a nice thick ice layer, so I'm going to keep spraying more water on it, but to make sure it's thick enough. But it's about, I think it's 0 degrees out here, or maybe 5 degrees, something like that. But so that's my igloo. I'll give you an update when it's when I've got it dug out a little bit more. Well, this is what it looks like inside. It's kind of hazy in there right now. That is all the snow I pulled out of it. So basically got about 5 inches of snow over the past couple days. So I shoveled like basically the whole bottom of the driveway here into a giant mound, and then sprayed water on it, and now I dug it out. And that is what we have left, so I could basically build another igloo. But I'm not going to do that, it's too much work. So, alright guys, the igloo is officially finished. And I think it's definitely the biggest igloo I have ever made. Actually, as you can see, the neighbor girl and my sister wanted to spray it with some food coloring water, so they were having fun with that. Looks kind of cool though with the colors. There's actually a crack in it, nice big one right here. Goes down there. But I don't think it's going to really bother it much, because it's at least 1 inch thick in most places, so it should be good. But as you can see, there's a really nice, cool pattern on it. Well, it's slippery over here. A nice, cool pattern on it from the way the water kind of the droplets kind of sit on it when it flows down over top. As you can see, these bushes also got a little hit with water, but it's a nice big patch of ice all around it from the water spilling off. But it's definitely the biggest igloo yet. So, and I sprayed water on the inside too, and nice bit of ice on the floor. And here's a snow shovel, just for some comparison. I think this snow shovel, the handle's probably, or the whole thing is about 8 foot long, I think. I put that there. That reaches right to the middle. So it's at least, or I'm sorry, the snow shovel was 4 foot long. So it's at least 8-9 feet across, or in diameter. So yeah, at least 9 foot. So that is pretty cool. And then it's about almost exactly 4 foot tall. So yeah, pretty cool. It's definitely the biggest one I've ever made. So colors actually show through a little bit. But yeah, nice and smooth in here. And so I sprayed the inside with water too, because I thought that would strengthen it some, because there was kind of snow on the inside. And I thought if I soaked that with water, it would probably be a little stronger. And I also, around the edges, I packed that with snow before I wetted it all down. So that made a nice icy layer here, because it was kind of, there was a real, I don't know, it felt like it didn't have very much support. So I thought if I added that, it would have more support and maybe last longer. So hopefully this ice design will last a lot longer than the snow ones. Because that's the problem with making a snow igloo, just making a big mound and then digging it out, is that it doesn't last very long. As soon as, it doesn't even have to get above freezing, and it starts slumping after a day or two, just from the snow compacting around the edges. Even if you leave it about 8 inches thick, it still does that, and it's really, really annoying. So I wanted to try a different design, so I basically just piled up the snow into a giant pile, sprayed water on it, and I sprayed a lot of layers of water on it, and then I just dug it out, and the digging it out made it definitely worth it, because it was so easy to dig it out, because the snow, I didn't pack it at all, so the snow was really loose in here, and I just had to basically shovel it out, and it was easy. So that made it a lot easier. And then I sprayed the inside with water. Now you gotta be careful though, after you spray it with water a couple times, it will keep cracking. Like, as soon as you spray it from the water, from the shock of the temperature difference, it'll actually crack, and it makes a really awesome sound, but it's probably not very good for it. So once I get enough layers on, I'm not gonna spray it anymore, because I don't want it to crack anymore, and because I don't really want to spray it like 20 more times. So if you're gonna keep spraying it, you have to, or if you're gonna spray it, don't just spray it like once a day. You have to spray it like 20 times in a row to get a nice thick ice layer on it, or else it'll just keep cracking every time you spray it. So this igloo is, I mean, it's really fun to make, and I think it's going to last a lot longer, because the ice will take a lot longer to melt and it won't slump. But it's not like a survival igloo, because it doesn't keep the heat in. It doesn't have any insulation, because it's just ice. So, and also you don't have water in the wild, so can't make a survival igloo. But, yeah, so it's a pretty awesome igloo, all in all. So, yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys.